Crack, cocaine, heroin, opioids, and alcohol. These substances have destroyed millions of lives globally. As we speak today, millions of lives are being destroyed, families torn apart. This documentary actually highlights the background of some of these individuals that we speak of, the individuals who they consider to have a pickled mindset, a mindset of which they can never turn off, which means every day is a battle against addiction, a battle to not touch the bottle, a battle to not touch the needle, a battle to not pop the next pill. This is Addiction Therapy, brought to you by RHD and Dakastudioz. That's Deacon Blues right there. We welcome you to episode 2 of Addiction Therapy. Right now we have a superstar. This is literally a star you're seeing right here, someone that's destined for greatness. Would you like to introduce yourself to the people?
My name is Dan Trimmer and I am an addict.
All right, Dan. My man Dan. How long you been in this particular rehab?
I have been in RHD since February 16th, so fast approaching 90 days.
Oh, wow. Is this the first rehab facility you have been in?
No, I have been in a multitude of facilities. I've been in and out of institutions since I was about 13 years old.
So when did you first start using?
I was about 11 or 12 the first time I started picking up drugs and alcohol.
Oh, wow. What introduced you to that? Was it somebody in your life that influenced that upon you? Like, how did that come about?
Well, around that time, I had like a fascination with it almost. A lot of like movies I watched and music I listened to was people that were into that stuff, so it kind of appealed to me in a certain sense. So I started experimenting with pot, started experimenting with alcohol, and I liked it. And then I have a brother that's 10 years older than me, and he was into the drugs at that time as well. And then I had started getting into it with him. And my brother now, by the grace of God, is 4 years sober.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and I felt bad for a long time because my brother blamed himself for my addiction. And it was by no means my brother's fault. It was a choice that I made to pick up. And I told him, no matter what happened between me and you, I believe I would have turned out the way that I did no matter what, because I was already on that road.
Yeah, that's commendable right there. Like, you literally took responsibility for your own addiction and literally relinquished your brother from having that burden of thinking that he influenced that upon you. Mm-hmm. So it was the rock star lifestyle, because you mentioned music, seeing musicians and all of that you got into it because of that, or that was just an influence?
It was a big influence.
Influence.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things, what you do, and in my head I paint a picture.
Yeah.
How long have you been sober? Like, throughout that period, from age 11, you said, till now, did you ever have a period where you were sober in between then?
I did. I had a good stretch of sobriety one time where I was very involved in AA. I lived in a recovery house for quite a while, and now mind you, the time where I did put together some sobriety, I didn't even go to rehab.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just got sober. I was very involved in AA, very involved in the 12-step fellowship. I worked all 12 steps. I had service commitments. I had a home group. I had a sponsor. I worked the steps. I sponsored other people. I would bring meetings into places like this because a big part of the program is giving back, helping the next person.
So So you was basically doing great things, being that lighthouse.
Yes.
You know, I know the people would like to know, being that you had a sobriety stretch and you were influencing people in a positive way, what caused the relapse? If you don't mind telling the people, you know, like.
There was a lot of things that led into it. At first, there were some small sketchy behaviors that I was participating in, and those things snowball into bigger things, because when I'm trying to live a spiritual lifestyle and I'm doing things that I consciously know are wrong, it eats away at me. But then what really led to the relapse is my ex-girlfriend that I was with at the time. She was pregnant, and at first we were both terrified. We didn't know what to do. You know, we were both living in recovery houses, and we sat down and talked about it and said, okay, we're gonna have this baby. And I had a really good job at the time, making good money. So we were gonna move into this house in Mount Lebanon, which is a very nice neighborhood in Pittsburgh. And my sponsor's a duplex. My sponsor lived in the other half of the duplex. And I proposed to her because I thought that's what you did when the baby was involved, and she said yes. And it just seemed like everything was going to be perfect. We were going to move into this nice little house in this nice little neighborhood next door to my sponsor and get married and have a baby and live happily ever after. And a couple months into the pregnancy, the doctor said, we think there may be some complications. And at that time, I had started praying morning, noon, and night every day. God, please let this baby be okay. Whatever happens, please let this baby be okay. And then she lost it. And we were devastated.
Yeah, that would definitely shake your whole world up. Yeah. So that is what basically led to the relapse, the loss of that child.
It led to a resentment against God, is what happened.
Because you did speak about spirituality.
Yes.
So you was dependent on God at that moment, and you felt like He didn't come through for you.
Yeah.
So from there till now, have your understanding on spirituality and God grown, or is still dormant? Or are you still resentful?
That resentment, and which eventually just turned into a hatred towards God, held me back for a very, very, very long time. I've been to a lot of treatment centers since that happened, and I had absolutely no chance to get sober because of that resentment and just being completely closed-minded to any of the spiritual aspect of this program, which is a big part of it. And religion is not my thing. But there are many roads to the spiritual path. You know what I mean?
Yes, they are.
And but that resentment just had me stuck, and I had no chance. And it was last year. I was sitting in a different treatment center, and I've been to this treatment center quite a few times. I've actually been going there since I was an adolescent. And this lady I was talking to worked there since I was in the adolescent program. I sat down with her for about probably an hour and a half, and we just talked. I told her that story, and she brought up the part where I was, praying for the baby to be okay. And she said, "How do you know that baby's not okay?" She said, "How do you know that baby wasn't going to be born with some kind of complications or some problems? God took that baby for a reason, so who are you to say that baby's not okay?"
Yeah, that's spiritually mind-opening, I should say.
Yeah.
Like God protected the baby from suffering in this world. So did that give you a different perspective on how the Creator works and operates?
It did. It blew my mind, man. It really did. And it was so hard for me to see at the time. But it happened for a reason, man. And since then, my life's kind of come full circle, because in January, I welcomed my first son into the world.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what you got, a 4-month-old right now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. You know what? Dan's journey has been filled with ups and downs. We're going to talk about one of them now. I remember how one day you was leaving the facility. Mm-hmm. You want to explain to the people like the mindset, what pushed you out, and then what brought you back to us?
I'm carrying the web. Thanks for all you showed us. This is how we feel. Come sit next to me, pour yourself some tea, just like Grandma made when we couldn't find sleep. Things were better then, we are left content. Well, let me tell you about it. Choo-choo train left, right on time.
through my experience, I've come to learn that as addicts and alcoholics, we're either driven by fear or we're driven by resentments. And I'm more of a person that is driven by fear, and I can let fear consume me. And I get in my head and I think entirely too much, and it gets to the point where I just want to give up. It seems too overwhelming, and I don't even want to try. So I was in a bad headspace there for a couple of days, and I just decided, you know what, I'm hitting the road. Strapped my guitar over my back and just started walking. I just didn't want to try anymore. I've been trying for so long that sometimes it just seems so overwhelming. So I started walking down the road. Thank God for this man right here, because he's one of the people who brought me back. You walk down that road with me. Mark was following too. 3 other staff members pulled up in their cars, like, to convince me to come back. And like, it's in those moments like where I'm not strong enough to stand by myself, or like there's people there that like help me stand. And in that moment, like, I really didn't want to come back, but I did. And the more I came back and like sat on it, I knew I had to stay there, because really the whole reason I came here, man, like, was for my son. I need to get better, to do better for my son. And like, my son's not enough to keep me sober. It is just enough to keep me here on those days where I want to run.
That's beautiful, man. Literally, your son is like your infrastructure of strength. But it wasn't just that. Like, you have been tested. You know, that was one day you was tested and you conquered it. But something else happened where you was tested in a facility a couple weeks ago. You know, I would really like you to share with the people what happened, because it was prolific, what you did. It was unprecedented, what you did. You want to explain to them what that was, fam?
Yeah. It's probably about 2 weeks ago now. I was outside in the parking lot. I was on the phone with my mom, smoking a cigarette, pacing back and forth, and I looked down at the ground, and there was a little cellophane with some bags of heroin in it, and immediately get that, you know, gut clenching anxiety, and a million thoughts running through my head, and I picked it up. I walked around the corner, and mind you, nobody saw me pick this up. I could have done whatever I wanted. I picked it up and I walked around the corner. There was only one person out there. And by the grace of God, it was, you know, another client here who was the person I was the closest to. And I told her that I had found this. She said, well, what are we going to do? I said, we got to go upstairs and we got to turn it in. And we went upstairs and we turned it in. And that in and of itself is a miracle. And that is one of the things that told me I'm on the right path spiritually. Because me, of myself, I don't have the power to pick up those drugs and turn them in. Me, of my own power, pick up those drugs, take them back to my room, and do them. But me, when I'm grounded spiritually with a power greater than myself, I have the power to pick up those drugs and say I don't want to do them. And me, with the power of a fellow addict, can go and turn those drugs in, and that's how this program works.
Man, that's great. Yo, fam, listen, that's one of the greatest acts I've ever seen a human being literally commit to. You know, yo, I thank you. We thank you. People, do y'all understand? He found a stamp bag of heroin outside, literally, and could have did it 1,000 different ways. But he did the hardest thing, which was the right thing, and brought it to RHD's attention. Like, this dude is a leader. He's definitely an influence, a positive influence in this community. He's always helpful and always there when we need him. Also, you're a musician also, right?
Yeah.
How many instruments do you play?
I play about 7 or 8 different instruments.
7 or 8 different instruments.
Yeah.
I got a pocket full of change and a head full of scars.
That's prodigal right there. literally. And you did a video while you was here, right?
I did.
be the stupid endless sense of sensitivity.
Yep, a music video. And actually that music video that you did is why the higher ups at RHD made a decision to do a documentary. So because of you, a documentary is possible.
Funny how things work, huh?
Man, listen, it's so beautiful how things work, man. Beautiful how things work.
We're just having a conversation one day talking about music, and he asked me, "You want to make a music video?" Now here we are, sitting making a documentary.
And listen, just like them dudes on his t-shirt, he's gonna get a Grammy. This is a superstar, but also this is a lighthouse. This is a man who was in the fog and then realized that the Creator put a light in him, a light that could guide other lost ships into salvation. Dan Trimmer, Deacon Blues, just share with the people, give them like a little autobiography, you know what I mean, on who you are and what your goals are for the future.
Well, who I am, like part of my makeup is, especially around here, a lot of times I'm known as like the class clown. I like to keep everyone laughing, like to make jokes, and I do that for a reason, because as when I was younger, man, I was like very angry. I was super miserable, and I used to be in places like this, and I'd sit in the back, and I was very angry, very miserable, and wouldn't talk to anybody, and I just hated my life. And then like someone would make me laugh, and like I would feel a little bit better, and like it helped me a lot. So like if I could be in here and I could make someone laugh and just make their day a little bit better, man, like it's all worth it.
What are the words, Walt? What are the words? I can't remember the words.
That's how you definitely keep the show going.
So I do like to joke around a lot, man, but like everyone also knows, like when it comes down to my recovery, I'm dead serious. Like I've had it before, I want it again more than anything. And all I want, man, is I just want to put a couple days clean together. I want to have some serenity, and I want a good life for me and my son. That's all I want.
That's what's up, Dad. How about your relationship with your brother and all that now? How's that going?
It's going great now, man, and I'm so happy about that, because one of the hardest things that I've heard in the last couple of years is more or less my brother had, in so many words, told me he had already buried me. It was that bad to the point where, I mean, I was skating by the skin of my teeth, man. I was barely alive.
Were you sleeping under bridges or homeless, those type of situations?
Oh yeah, I bounced back and forth between homeless all the time.
But now, how many days sober are you?
Since what, February 17th? Today's what, May 11th?
It's 12.
Oh, May 12th. Yeah. Just under 90 days.
That's, you coining out soon too, right?
I coin out on Sunday.
Man, listen. You coming back, right? When you coin out?
I will be back to work, man. By the grace of God.
Yes, you will.
I discharged Monday, which is my birthday.
Word?
Discharged on my 30th birthday.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Turn of a decade.
Yeah.
New decade.
Yeah.
This is like a brother to me, man. From day one, him and I have a rapport. And he always kept it 100,000 with me. So when he say he's going to come back and be that lighthouse, he means it. It's literally factual. This man is an inspiration. Daniel Trimmer, Deacon Blues, my brother. Anything else you want to share with the people before we sign out? Yeah, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Just quickly about RHD, man. Like I said, I've been to a lot of treatment centers. I've been to probably closer to 50. And this place is truly, truly one of a kind, man. This place always has a special place in my heart. The staff here, man, like they truly, truly, truly care about us, man. Like there's not one person I really could say is here. Yeah, that person's just here for a paycheck. And a lot of places are like that. Like it's the day you walk in these doors, man. That's my brother. this place is it's one of a kind, man. It's truly special. It's a healing environment here. Small community, man. It's like a family. People I've met here become my family, clients and staff. And there's not another place I could, choose to come and heal and get better than RHD.
Beautiful. Well,
Stolen from an African land, chased down with a knife, with a face like Bob Marley, and a mouth like a motorbike. Oh well, the bars are always open, and the time is always right. And if God's good, what goes unspoken, the music goes all night.
this was Addiction Therapy, episode 2, with Daniel Trimmer. But when he gets his Grammy, it's going to be Deacon Blues. I'm telling you, like one of the best people that I've met in my travels in this world, literally. And appreciate you, family.
Thank you, Iz.
My pleasure. World, Dan, the world.
And I'm gonna hate to see you leave. I really am. I wish you nothing but the best. I know that because you know what to do. You know how to stay clean. It's just a matter of you applying it. I hope to see you working here or at meetings or something. I don't want to see you as a client anymore, and I know that. And just take it one day at a time. I wish you nothing but the best.
I appreciate all the shares you did. It meant a lot to me. I learned a lot from you. You're a walking AA book. I love your meetings at 8 o'clock. I am going to get a little closer to AA and care because of you. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll follow you on Facebook.
I've learned so much from you.
Why don't you stay until tomorrow? If you wanna be free, all you got to do is say so. I saw a photograph ran in my mind, and it was so nice because it was just me and you.